Yes, welcome back to Fantastic Friday here on News Talk 93 FM. You're locked in. It's all about our discussion segment right about now. Talk the Ting with Kim. Well, I talk and gel with Lionel right now, people. All right, Mr. Fresh Concepts in the building. And our topic for discussion today, we continue our discussion on the topic, the new rules of dating in 2025. Yes, people, the rules have changed. Things have been adjusted, mostly due to social media and current trends. But yeah, it's no longer the regular old dating game. Asking a lady out is not necessarily an in-person thing anymore. It's via WhatsApp, it's via Instagram, it's via Snapchat. It's probably via video call, it's via, voice notes, all these things. The game has changed. So, while the landscape has changed, we've looked and discussed several of the points so far. The first 5, actually. As I said, number 1, timing and etiquette is very crucial. You have to know when to send your messages. You got to know, how to, ease yourself into the conversation. Yeah, don't just jump in too quickly. This can come across as being overly forward or insincere. Number 2, your online presence, your online profile is your resume for dating nowadays. They're checking your past posts, they're checking your stories, they're checking your highlights, they're checking to see what type of content you're posting, what kind of content you like. All of these becomes your profile nowadays. It's like a resume for dating. So, I use it as well to get an idea of the person who is messaging me. So before responding to a DM, they're gonna check the profile. Who is this? Where me know this person from? Who them know that I know? All of that goes into play when you are dating in 2025. Voice notes are personal, people. Use them strategically. So, getting to know somebody, your first set of messages shouldn't be no 10-minute voice note, 5-minute voice note. That might be a turn off instantly. All right, so many daters nowadays, they prefer to use text or use a phone call rather than sitting down to listen to a 10-minute, 5-minute voice note. You send somebody nowadays a 2-minute voice note, they might tell you, say, listen, I want to sing this. Yeah, record album, right? So it's very tricky, especially with somebody who you just started dating. All right, soft dating is the trend nowadays. That's number 4, where persons are talking to more than one individual. So yes, you are a part of the catalog. Some people might say you're in the rotation. So just be aware and try and ask. If you're not sure, communicate. Are you dating multiple person? Are you looking for a serious relationship? Get an idea as to what the person is interested in or looking forward to before jumping in and making assumptions, right? So you want to ensure that both persons are on the same page and no one misreads the situation. Now, number 5, we looked at the soft launch. That's becoming a bigger trend nowadays. Soft launch is where they gradually introduce the world to their partner. They might have been dating for 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Yeah. So you see a hand right here, a shoulder, a head back, a wrist. You see the foot. You see several different parts of the person before you see the face. It takes a while. Most persons wait until it's a milestone, probably 6 months, as I said, probably a year, before introducing social media or the world to their partner. All right, so that's the first 5 points when we think about the game change in the rules of dating for 2025. Now, number 6 on the list, your communication styles is like your digital love language. So this is very important. So little things in daily communication now carry real meaning. Now, for example, constantly checking in or consistently checking in after a long day is a plus. And persons pay attention to that. So, it's been a long day. I know nowadays everybody working and so on. Checking in on your partner or on your date is very much a plus. And you want to ensure that you're doing that consistently. That's a part of the dating game. You might end up losing your date if you probably message them late. True. Sharing an interesting article or playlist to lift someone's mood. I know we're sharing memes, we're sharing reels, we're sharing statuses, we're sharing stickers. These kind of activity is like a love language nowadays. Some partners or some persons you're dating, if you're not getting that from you, if they're sending and you're not send back, you might lose your date that way. All right. Now another social way of dating, offering to help with tasks or send lunch when the person is busy. These small gestures, they replace the grand expressions of affection persons expected in the past. So nowadays, persons might have probably sent a bouquet of roses to somebody they're interested with at their office, right? I mean, that still can be done. But nowadays, these online gestures have similar weight. Are you inspiring the person throughout their day? Are you, treating them to something nice? Hey, I saw this article, thought of you. Hey, you had lunch already, I'm gonna order you something. Because that option is available for most places. You can send even lunch to somebody's workplace, you can order it for them. That technology option is there. So it's not just limited to sending flowers or sending, you can send lunch, you can send a gift. All these options are available, and persons nowadays are considering them as acts of kindness or acts of how you show your love language in 2025. So if you haven't done any of these, you might consider stepping up your game. All right. Number 7, as we look at the dating game change, the rules of the game have changed in 2025. Now the fade has replaced ghosting. So probably back in 2020, 2019, 2022, thereabout, ghosting was the big trend. Just disappear from a person, just missing off the planet when it comes to them. While ghosting, it still happens. However, many daters nowadays use a softer approach, gradually taking longer to respond, shortening the messages, or redirecting conversations away from anything personal. So I guess persons are more considerate, because ghosting might seem harsh and persons have been looked upon weirdly for it. However, the new trend is the fade. So you might be messaging somebody you probably had a great communication vibe with, but all of a sudden you realize they're taking longer to respond. You've probably seen them online. The message is getting shorter. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Me all right. Yeah. Okay. Right? So you might be realizing that, as a part of your communication. Don't be alarmed. Just know that you are being faded. Yeah? So it's not really ideal, but it has become a common way of signaling that the interest is fading away without actually confronting the other person. It's a way of saying, I'm not really as interested as I was before, right? So people tend to interpret fewer responses or less enthusiasm as a clear sign, even without a formal conversation about the ending of things. All right? So this trend seems to has been taken over. Yes, we have been seeing it more modern, where persons just simply fade you out in the conversation game. And I mean, sometimes you might want to try and say, oh, let's talk about this. But really and truly, if you are interested and the person is not as interested, sometimes, some people say fight for the one you love, but I think that's a clear sign, So you might need to start looking for somebody else, when it gets to that stage. We're not talking about a person that you're in a relationship now for 2 years, 3 years. That's more, concrete. So this is person that you're just dating for the first time. You're getting to know within the 1 to 3 months time frame. So once you see this happening, the person might have lost interest and have decided to move on. So you can try and have the conversation. However, it's not necessarily the best option. Sometimes you just have to read the signs. Pay attention to the signs. All right, number 8 on our list. Dating game 2025, the new rules Real life compatibility still matters, people, and it's more than online chemistry. So many people have discovered that even, though we might have the chemistry over WhatsApp or Instagram, we're chatting it up, we're sending the reels, we're laughing up a storm, we're sending the best stickers. Even though we have that wonderful chemistry, it doesn't always translate into real life interactions. So texting allows for witty comebacks and curated responses, but meeting the person in person puts everything in real time. So a lot of the modern dating trends now try to organize a quick coffee meetup or a public hangout at the mall, coffee shop, Starbucks, the place them. Yeah. Earlier in the talking stage of the relationship to avoid building unrealistic expectations. Back in the days, you could have a pen pal and talk 2-3 years online before the meet. Nowadays, they're looking for somebody for a relationship. Them now waste them the long time. If you don't put in a little interest to go out on a date or meet up and have a drink or have lunch or something, within the first 2-3 months, you might fall off the bandwagon. That's dating in 2025. I mean, some persons have managed to pull off the long game. You laugh here and there, and then you throw in the date request probably 6 months to 8 months in. But sometimes you might not be getting a reply at that stage. The person might have lost interest in you. So it's very tricky in 2025. But nowadays, more persons have been drifting towards moving from online to get an idea of what you're like in person earlier on in the relationship before, as they call it, they don't want to waste their time and it's not a real connection in person. So real life compatibility is greater than online chemistry when it comes to dating in 2025. And I mean, it makes sense because if you're gonna be dating a person eventually, you want that real life chemistry. So you can't just live online forever, right? They want to start a relationship sometime, so they want to see what you're like in person. So the emphasis is on seeing if the vibe is real before investing too deeply. All right, so that's point number 8. The new rules of dating. The new rules of dating in 2025. Now, number 9, you have to consider whether you're going to be budget conscious or you're going to be a part of the high profile dating. Now, with the cost of living rising, people have become much more open to low cost dates. But this option is not necessarily for everyone. So when you think about low profile dates, we're talking about like a walk in the park, a simple brunch or lunch at a local spot. Some persons might even consider Netflix or a home cooked setting. But once again, it's not for everyone, so you have to identify the person that you're interested in and to see whether or not this is something that is an interest for both of you. All right. Now, what matters the most is that the effort and thought behind the activity counts, right? So talking to someone, as I said, they're more interested in getting that personal relationship going. They want to see you in person. They want to know if you have that bond in person. It's not just an online presence. So starting off with, as I said, a coffee date, probably a movie night somewhere, carry the options are there. Something simple as a first option is available. But for some daters, they still like the high profile dating. They still want to be taken out to the fancy restaurant. In that case, I'm wondering, is it that they're interested in you or they're interested in the fancy restaurant? Because we're just getting to know each other. So I think a simple, budget conscious date for the first date would be ideal. But I mean, we can argue that point. We might go into that discussion topic next week. So you can share your views on that. But for now, many people are comfortable being upfront about financial limitation. Some people aren't, but nowadays I think more people have been considering the fact that, okay, things can be pricey. So let's consider the pocket. But some persons are still trying to impress, and some people think probably they might want to be impressed, right? However, others appreciate partners who value time and connection over how much money is spent. So ladies, for the first or two, or probably for the first or second date, does it have to be a high-end restaurant? What are your views? Can it be a nice little walk in the park? Are we still doing that for first date? Let me know. We're going to talk about that next week, people. But let me get your views. All right. Now, point number 10. The number 10 rule of the game. We talk about dating rules for 2025. The new rules of dating for 2025. Number 10. Honesty and intentionality are increasingly valued. All right, so unlike previous years where some persons preferred to play it cool, more persons now appreciate straightforwardness. Whether someone is looking for something casual or a long-term commitment, being clear about it is seen as respectful. As I said earlier, clear the air from now. Persons are more appreciative of that. It is becoming very crucial. If you're not looking for nobody, you want to just, chill, just say that. You don't need to hide it. You know what I say? Just be open with it. That way you'll get an idea of if your partner is on the same, page, and there's no disappointment, right? So, this helps actually to avoid confusion. So, yeah, most people are moving away from the situationships, right? That's drag on for months and apparently ends up nowhere but disappointment due to unmet expectations. Persons are choosing alignment and transparency over assumptions and guessing games. So number 10, people, talk up. Talk the thing. Are you here for a relationship? Are you just having fun? I think more persons are done with the mystery games. Some people still are. We're still seeing this happen, person just going with the breeze. And I can understand if both parties are comfortable with that. However, nowadays, as you meet somebody, what are your intentions? What do you want from this relationship? And yeah, that's good. Save your time, save your energy, save your stress. Yeah? So, these, my friends, are the 10 new rules of dating in 2025. So, it's less about grand gestures, really. And it's more about intentional actions, clear communication, and emotional maturity. So whether the connection begins online or offline, people are cautiously optimistic. Yeah, they are seeking real connection, they're seeking mutual effort, and a sense of stability. Now, while the platforms or the social media platforms may have changed, the desire for genuine love and honest partnership remains the same. So don't get caught up in that social media glam where you have to be, on that, expensive date, or you got to be flued out. Yeah, that's really happening for those persons who aren't really seeking a relationship. The real persons that are seeking real, genuine connections are making decisions not just based on the flashy lifestyle, but on intentional actions, clear communication, and ensuring that they have a genuine bond. All right? So, a quick run through of the points, people. The dating rules for 2025. Timing is very much important. So, what time of day you message the person, the type of messages you're communicating when you're just dating, those stand out. Number 2, your online profile is your resume. Social media profile, they're going to check your story, they're going to check your status, they're going to check your highlights. What are you posting? Who are you tagging? What are you sharing? That is very important in dating game nowadays. Number 3, voice notes are personal and use them strategically. So you can't just start dating somebody, hi, how you doing, I like you, whatever you're saying. Send a 3 to 7 minutes voice note. They might not listen to that. I'm telling you. Yeah. If they're really feeling you, fine. But you just new to the thing, when I know you like that. All right. So voice notes are personal. Use them wisely. Keep them short. concise, fun if you have to, but the long 10-minute voice note, you might want to save that for when you guys, in the relationship and our boyfriend, girlfriend, or man and woman, as them call it. All right. Soft dating is the trend most of these times. So persons nowadays have gone into dating multiple persons. They're talking to more than one person in the initial stages, and they say, okay, I'm gonna narrow it down to one eventually. That's their preference, but just know that's one of the trends. That's one of the rules of 2025 dating. More persons are now talking to more than one person. So don't just jump in the game and assume. Ensure you ask, hey, are you dating one person? Am I the only one? Are you weighing your options? So that way no one misreads the situation. Number 5, the soft launch is the trend. Soft launch, they gradually introduce the world to their partner. You show a look at hand, you show a look at elbow, you show a look at back. They don't just post their partners on social media right away anymore. They wait until, probably 6 months in. And that seems to be the trend of dating these days. Number 6, your communication style is your digital love language. How you're sending your memes, how you're checking up on your partner. Are you sending positive messages, advice, keeping them entertained throughout their day. That's basically a part of your, love language nowadays. Yeah. Some persons, you got to find out what they like. Or do they like you're sending them stickers? It's a whole different ball game, right? Similar to like sending them roses. It has that effect. Number 7, the fade has replaced ghosting. So instead of just cutting off communication instantly, in relationship nowadays, when they're not feeling your vibe, they might tend to slow down the communication, reply late. They might want to send, like one word replies and so on. Keep an eye on this so that you're aware that the person has either lost interest or is no longer simply interested in communicating with you on that level. They might even change the topic when you're trying to ask personal questions. So just be on the ball. Just know what's going on. Number 8, real life compatibility still matters over online chemistry. So don't just talk forever online with the person. You haven't met them in person before. Persons want to go out on dates to see if it actually, has a vibe. Even to start walking the park, get to know them. Number 9, budget conscious versus high profile dating. Identify what style you are. Find somebody that matches your style. Yeah. So whether it's a little, walk in the park, a simple dinner date, or the flashy dates, understand which fits your partner, which matches you. Honesty and intentionality is important. So from the get-go, tell them where you are. Are you interested in a relationship? Is it a one-time thing or is it for the long term? Know what you want, people. And that's my few tips here inside Funtastic Friday. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Thank you very much for joining us online. Stay safe out there. We're out.